I don't know who you are now. That broke my heart. I can't even tell you the effect it had on me, that I realized there was only one way for me to go in the rest of my life.
You know him as the heartthrob Keith Partridge from the Partridge Family, the guy who made millions scream, faint, and dream with his perfect smile and hit songs like I Think I Love You. But behind the fame, the sold-out stadiums, and the adoring fans, David Cassidy's life was a roller coaster of addiction, financial ruin, family feuds, and heartbreaking scandals. From earning millions in the 70s to filing for bankruptcy, from being the world's biggest teen idol to getting arrested for drunk driving, and from a loving father to publicly disowning his own daughter.
What's that?
I put them in. You can't have a film without credits.
David's story is wilder than any Hollywood script. Why did he lose all his money? How did his mental problems tear his family apart? And why did his daughter, Arrow star Katie Cassidy, say she never really knew him? This is the untold truth of David Cassidy, the man who had it all, threw it away, and died with deep regrets. Stick around and watch this video because this story has everything: fame, fortune, betrayal, addiction, and a legacy that will leave you speechless. You won't believe what happened.
Everybody ready? 1, 2.
David Bruce Cassidy was born on April 12, 1950, in New York City. His father, actor Jack Cassidy, and mother, actress Evelyn Ward, divorced when he was just 5 years old. David was raised mostly by his mother while his father pursued his acting career. Later, his father married Shirley Jones, who would later play his on-screen mother in The Partridge Family. David attended several schools as a child due to his family's moving around. He struggled in school and was even expelled at one point for bad behavior. Despite this, he had a passion for music and acting from a young age. After high school, he briefly studied acting, but dropped out to pursue a career in entertainment. David's big break came in 1970 when he was cast as Keith Partridge in The Partridge Family, a musical sitcom about a family band. The Partridge Family was one of the most iconic TV shows of the 1970s, blending music, comedy, and family-friendly storytelling into a cultural phenomenon.
I don't even know Harry Murphy.
You don't, but I thought...
I used to have a crush on Barry Murphy, but he moved away a year ago.
Starring Shirley Jones and a young David Cassidy, the series turned its cast into overnight stars and left a lasting mark on pop culture. The show, which aired on ABC from 1970 to 1974, followed the adventures of the Partridges, a family band traveling in a brightly painted school bus while trying to make it in the music business. The concept was loosely inspired by the real-life family band the Cowsills, who had hits like The Rain, The Park, and Other Things. However, the producers fictionalized the story, adding humor and teenage heartthrob appeal with David Cassidy's character Keith Partridge. The show became a massive hit, and David quickly became a teen heartthrob. His good looks and singing talent led to a successful music career outside the show. Hits like I Think I Love You topped the charts, and he sold out stadiums worldwide with fans screaming and fainting at his concerts. At the height of his fame, David was one of the most photographed and adored celebrities in the world. But the pressure of stardom took a toll on him. He grew tired of being seen only as a teen idol and wanted to be taken seriously as an actor and musician. By the mid-1970s, the Partridge Family ended, and David's popularity began to fade. He tried to reinvent himself with more mature roles on Broadway and in TV movies, but it was difficult to escape his teen idol image. He struggled with typecasting and took on various projects, including stage performances and occasional TV appearances. At the peak of his fame in the 1970s, David was earning millions. He sold out stadiums, had hit records, and was one of the highest-paid TV stars of his time. But like many young celebrities who experience sudden wealth, he didn't manage his money wisely. He spent lavishly on cars, homes, and an extravagant lifestyle, assuming the money would never run out. By the 1980s, his career had slowed down, but his spending habits didn't. He invested in risky real estate deals and business ventures that failed. One major mistake was pouring money into a horse breeding farm, which drained his finances without providing returns. He also faced costly legal battles, including lawsuits from former managers and financial advisors who accused him of unpaid fees. Another huge blow was his struggle to secure the royalties he was owed from the Partridge Family. Despite the show's massive success, David claimed he was paid very little in residuals, ongoing payments for reruns and music sales. He later admitted that his inexperience in the entertainment industry led him to sign contracts that didn't favor him financially. In the 1990s, he tried suing Sony Music, which owned the rights to the Partridge Family music, over unpaid royalties. But the case dragged on and drained more of his money in legal fees. Without a steady income from his past work, he relied on touring and small acting gigs, which weren't enough to cover his debts. Like many celebrities, David also faced serious tax problems. Reports suggest he owed hundreds of thousands in unpaid taxes to the IRS, which added to his financial strain. By 1995, the situation became unsustainable, and he was forced to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, listing debts of nearly $1 million. After bankruptcy, David had to start over. He capitalized on the enduring love for his 1970s music by performing in nostalgia tours and appearing at fan conventions. While it wasn't the mega-wealthy lifestyle of his youth, it helped him stay afloat. He also wrote a memoir, Could It Be Forever?, where he opened up about his financial mistakes and regrets. In later interviews, David admitted that he had been naive about money and trusted the wrong people. He said, "I was young, and I thought the success would last forever. I didn't plan for the future." His story serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of financial planning, especially for celebrities who experience rapid fame and fortune. Despite his financial struggles, David never lost his passion for performing. Even in his later years, he continued to tour, proving that, while money came and went, his connection with fans remained strong until the end. David's personal life was just as turbulent as his career. He married actress Kay Lentz in 1977, but the marriage lasted only 2 years. In 1984, he married horse trainer Merrill Tanz, and they had a son, Bo Cassidy, in 1991. However, they divorced in 1996. His third marriage was to songwriter Sue Schifrin in 1991, and they had a daughter, Katie Cassidy, in 1986. Katie followed in her father's footsteps, becoming a successful actress known for roles in Arrow and Supernatural. David and Sue divorced in 2016 after years of separation. David had a complicated relationship with his half-brothers, Sean, Patrick, and Ryan Cassidy, all of whom were also in the entertainment industry. Though there were tensions at times, they remained connected through their shared love of music and acting. David Cassidy's relationship with his daughter, actress Katie Cassidy, was one of the most emotionally complex parts of his life. Though they shared a deep love, their bond was strained by distance, personal struggles, and public disputes, especially in David's later years. Katie Cassidy was born on November 25, 1986, to David and his then-girlfriend, model Sherry Williams. However, David was not present for much of Katie's childhood. He had married Sue Schifrin, his third wife, just months before Katie's birth, and though he financially supported her, he was largely absent from her early life. Katie was raised primarily by her mother and her stepfather, Richard Benedin, whom she considered her real father. In interviews, she admitted she didn't have a close relationship with David growing up, saying, "I didn't really know him. He wasn't around." As Katie grew older and pursued acting, following in her father's footsteps, they began to reconnect. She starred in TV shows like Supernatural, Gossip Girl, and Arrow, and David publicly expressed pride in her success. However, their relationship remained complicated. In 2014, David made headlines when he claimed in an interview that he had never met Katie's then fiancé, saying, "I don't know her. I've never met her fiancé." The comment hurt Katie, who responded on social media, writing, "Wow, speechless." Fans speculated that David's struggles with alcoholism and cognitive decline may have played a role in his erratic statements. The tension between them escalated in 2017 when David, in the midst of his dementia battle, gave an interview claiming he had given up alcohol for Katie, but that she had cut him off. He tearfully said, "I've never had a relationship with her, and that's been the biggest heartbreak of my life." Katie, who had previously avoided speaking about their issues, finally addressed the situation. She posted a statement on Twitter, saying, "I've always had a heart full of love and forgiveness where my father is concerned, but he's made it clear that we're not close. That's his choice, not mine. Despite their estrangement, Katie reportedly reached out to David in his final months as his health deteriorated. She did not visit him before his death in November 2017, but sources close to the family said she had privately made peace with their fractured relationship. After his passing, Katie honored him in subtle ways. She posted a black and white photo of them on Instagram with the caption, "Words can't express the solace I find in knowing you are at peace." She also got his signature tattoo on her wrist, a permanent tribute to the father she loved but never fully knew. In later interviews, Katie spoke with maturity about their relationship. She acknowledged his struggles with addiction and fame, saying, "He had his demons, but he was still my dad." She also admitted regret that they never had the chance to fully reconcile, saying, "I wish things had been different, but I've made peace with it." David Cassidy's life in the spotlight was marked by more than just fame and adoration. It was also riddled with scandals and controversies that tarnished his image and reflected his personal struggles. From legal troubles to erratic behavior, his later years became a cautionary tale about the dark side of celebrity. One of the most publicized scandals in David's life was his repeated arrest for driving under the influence. His battle with alcoholism spilled over into his personal conduct, leading to dangerous and humiliating encounters with the law. The most notable incident occurred in 2010 when he was pulled over in Schrader County, Florida, after police noticed his car swerving. Reports stated that he failed a field sobriety test, slurring his words and struggling to maintain balance. A breathalyzer test confirmed his blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. This wasn't his first DUI. He had been arrested multiple times before, but this incident led to serious consequences. He was sentenced to jail time, required to attend alcohol education classes, and placed on probation. The mugshot of the once beloved teen idol, now disheveled and aged beyond his years, circulated widely in the media, symbolizing his dramatic fall from grace. As his addiction worsened, David's reliability as a performer became increasingly questionable. Fans who paid to see him in concert often left disappointed when he either showed up visibly intoxicated or canceled at the last minute. In 2012, during a performance in California, he collapsed on stage and was rushed to the hospital, later revealing he had been suffering from severe dehydration and liver issues, clear signs of his body breaking down from years of alcohol abuse. Some fans felt betrayed, especially those who had grown up idolizing him. Many took to social media to express their frustration, accusing him of disrespecting his audience. Others, however, expressed sympathy, recognizing that his struggles were a cry for help rather than a lack of professionalism. In his final years, David's behavior became increasingly unpredictable. Interviews that should have been nostalgic reflections on his career instead turned into uncomfortable spectacles. In 2014, during a radio appearance, he made shocking claims about his daughter, Katie Cassidy, saying he had never met her fiancé and that they had no relationship. The comments blindsided Katie, who responded on Twitter with a simple but devastating, "Wow," speechless. Later, in 2017, during a painfully raw interview with Dr. Phil, David, clearly struggling with dementia, broke down in tears, admitting he was dying and that alcohol had destroyed his life. The interview was difficult to watch, with David at times confused and emotional, rambling about regrets and lost opportunities. Many viewers questioned whether it was ethical to air such a vulnerable moment, while others saw it as a stark warning about the consequences of addiction. David's strained relationships with his family members often played out in the media. His half-brother, Sean Cassidy, also a famous singer and producer, reportedly distanced himself as David's behavior became more volatile. Meanwhile, David's public disputes with his daughter Katie added another layer of sadness to his later years. His tearful confession that he had never had a relationship with her made headlines, revealing the deep personal toll of his addiction and mental decline. While David Cassidy will always be remembered as a pop culture icon, his later years were overshadowed by these controversies. His story serves as a sobering reminder of how fame, when combined with personal demons, can lead to self-destruction. In one of his final interviews, he acknowledged this himself, saying, "I was given everything, and I threw it all away." David Cassidy passed away on November 21st, 2017, at the age of 67 from liver and kidney failure. His family was by his side in his final moments. Before his death, he expressed regret over his addiction struggles, but remained proud of his music and the joy he brought to fans. Today, his music and TV shows remain beloved by fans. His daughter Katie continues his legacy in Hollywood, and his son Beau has stayed out of the spotlight, living a private life.